Hi, meeting call to order of the Brooks Memorial Library Technology Committee at 4:37 p.m. Okay, just really quickly, I'm solo right at the moment, but we're expecting Margaret Atkinson to come. So, I haven't had any feedback on the previous minutes from April, but I'm just gonna assume tacitly we're approving the minutes so that we can move on to the consent agenda. Does anybody, Matt, do you want any items of new business to the meeting
I
today?
don't think I have any new items now.
Okay, good, right. I don't have any new, well, I have one sort of item that I want to add, which is, we're attending to plan the talking about tech sessions in the meeting. And I want to come up with a way to do this that's a little bit more, in other words, it doesn't put us under the pressure to come up with the agenda and the programs during this meeting.
And I have to say, I view this committee, my opinion has been that this committee is giving me input on what to do with talking about tech, which is great. And it's been with everything going on at the library, getting publicity and everything planned in advance has been a bit of a struggle recently, but it works out that I think July's really in good shape, which we can get to when we get on the agenda there.
Okay.
So we can talk about this. I'm launching into a topic that I think you were proposing as new business. My apologies. I tend to do that.
No, it's fine. It's fine. And that just provides some color.
Yeah.
And that's good. Okay, so let's do the first item, which is to talk about tech.
Yeah. So like I was saying, right.
We'll start with a recap of May, June, because I wasn't at either of those sessions.
May, we had a nice group of I think about 8 people, a little smaller than our first one, but nice, continuity. What was the topic? I've forgotten already.
It's okay.
It was a while ago. A lot
it's going on. It's not often that we skip 2 months. So
give me 1 second. What did we talk about? Wasn't passwords. That was the month before. No, we skipped May.
Yeah, we skipped May.
May's the way when we.
So it was April.
April was passwords, managing passwords.
And that one had to turn out to be.
Maybe it's the other way around. Now, like I said, I'm
managing passwords.
No, April was the one we skipped. Yeah, so May.
Okay, good. I'm just keeping up with.
Let me get to the actual.
So you said we had a good turnout, 8 people, and that was managing passwords.
Let me just double check the facts there. There we go. Yeah. So it was a nice group. One thing I did in May is I asked people if they wanted to be on an email list just to get talking about tech updates, and I collected some email addresses, and I've collected a few since with people who've come to me for tech appointments and that kind of thing. So I think I'm up to about 10 at the moment, and I'm going to send out advance email about July's with like the actual topic in advance, as well as getting it up on the events calendar and that kind of thing. I'm going to include some folks who've either come before or who I know from tech appointments. And every message will have if you don't want to be on this, please let me know. So I don't like to generally send a lot of unsolicited email, but I think I can pick a few folks who I'm pretty sure will not mind getting one. If they don't want to continue, they can let me know. So June's, we, again, because of everything going on, and Tara not being back to work fully yet. Basically, I had one person show up. I didn't get to do pretty much any advanced publicity. So what I'm doing instead, because it's somebody who'd been to all of them basically, and we just ended up talking about tech issues, not on the topic that I'd planned. So I'm going to move the topic from June to July, which was what is Wi-Fi is the shortest version, right? To talk about how do all these devices connect to the internet, what's Wi-Fi, what's mobile data, what's Bluetooth, anything like that, kind of as the starting, half-hour topic. And then, I think there's a lot of ways that can go for the sort of more open, where does the conversation take a session. And that's like, so now I'm going to be working even, well, there's not a lot of this week left, but even starting next week, I'll send out, that first email to some of those folks, mentioning that that's the topic. Get that onto the event calendar for the July one specifically, that's the topic. Get the flyer, a little bit better shape, be able to get it up in the library well in advance, and then also, find out from Tara where she has often gotten posters and flyers up around town. Not going to be asking her to go try to poster the town, but once she lets me know where she normally hits, I can bring stuff around again. Get that out in advance. Press release, which I know Star had done for the first few. I haven't really done press releases, but I can figure out, how we've done those in the past, what works, and to get something out to them too. I think at least for January and February, the Reformer ran a little bit about it with, even a very short blurb about what the topic was. So, hoping we can get that. I can at least submit something for July as well.
Yeah, you could do a brief one, like just a slug.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
And like maybe it's going to be the same copy you're going to put in the calendar.
Exactly, that kind of thing.
Yeah, just make it easy for yourself.
Um,
Because there's the Commons and the Reformer will sometimes have upcoming events.
yeah, there's like the calendar kind of thing. So and I think this is going to be a topic of interest because since I decided on that for June, before now knowing we're going to reschedule, I had two patrons come in and basically ask questions very squarely related to that. So that wasn't why they were coming to me exactly, but it came up right at the beginning of like the appointment or session. So yeah, that's kind of where we are. We're talking about tech. Need to reestablish some momentum after a little bit of a not ideal June, but yeah, I think we can move ahead, and I think the email list is going to be an important tool. Max does that for his sci-fi reading group. And
you can put me on that list too.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, please do. You might as well put everybody who's on the board of trustees
at least so they know. Yeah,
on there. I don't think Margaret's gonna object. I think it's just me and Margaret right now and Leo. So you can put the three of us on.
Okay.
Anybody will object, Leo might say, hey, take me off this list, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
Because he's a founding member of the committee. So
yeah.
He's not gonna wanna
Great.
not be on it. So yeah, that should be fine. Thanks for the updates.
Yeah, no problem.
Did we do any surveys at those sessions?
Paper surveys continue to be a challenge in terms of getting people to, fill them out. And I don't believe we've had much in the way of responses to the online version since like maybe one at the start. Let me just double check in on that and see. Sure. Yeah, actually, it's showing no responses to the online one.
Okay.
I thought I had seen one, but maybe I'm getting my wires crossed with a late response to the original tech
Right.
survey. So, yeah, so that is one of my sort of, outstanding kind of questions for myself and maybe for participants is how to get feedback more successfully. Because, I think that it's just hard to get people to do a survey. And it's been hard for me to remember to try to, like, people have said, set aside time for doing the survey right there. And it's, often we've just been talking until it's time to wrap up. So, but maybe one of the things I can do is ask people there how we could better get feedback.
I'm gonna add an item to the new business.
Great.
Okay. Which is, do you need assistance? Like, in other words, should it be two people, you and someone else?
It certainly, I think that could be really great.
It's a lot to ask you to do the content, to manage the entire meeting and facilitate, to take notes.
Yeah.
And to set up the room and to break the room down it is a lot.
Yeah, and the publicity in advance.
And take your own publicity, so you need some,
yeah.
I think you need some.
Thanks to Tara, who had done some of that for the earlier ones before, she went out. So some of it is that, like, okay, how to pick up that slack. I will say, like, the CERC staff that do things on Facebook, they've been putting it on Facebook when I get it ready. So there has been some support, but I need to figure out ways to get more and better, I think, hopefully without asking for too much, that anybody's gonna.
Yeah, well, I think there's support. I'm not talking about the support to help you get publicity done, because anything that you need would just be filling in until you get your outreach coordinator.
Yeah.
And I think Tara's due back soon, isn't she?
Yeah, I think that she's been back part-time.
Right.
And I think that she does not yet have clearance to come back full-time.
Okay.
I don't know the status of what she next
It's
gets.
typically like 2 months to 3 months is what a person.
I think they're on the
recuperating.
waiting for medical clearance is the issue at the moment.
So she's safe. That's important.
Yeah.
But when she's back, you won't need help with as much help with that.
Yeah.
But what you do need help with is the day of.
Yes.
And that's kind of what maybe we should make it so that we designate somebody who attends to kind of be your second.
If we
can do that.
People who are willing, that would be great. Yeah.
So anyway, we can talk a little bit more about it. That's under new business, so I'm just trying to stay on. I don't chair a lot of meetings, so just making sure I don't screw this up. Okay, cool. So we didn't get survey responses. Anything else you want to mention about TAT before we move on to the next?
I will say just another thing that I could use some help with, whether it's brainstorming, people who have a topic they'd be willing to do, is getting other presenters in for that, to lead that directed
I know
discussion.
I owe you.
I mean,
to do that.
it'd be great to have, if there's something you want to, we've talked about AI, but whatever, topic you want to pitch, whatever you would feel comfortable leading a discussion on.
Biggest challenge I'm having right now is my son lost his college. He didn't just lose his job, the college closed.
Oh, there's been so much of that going
Yeah,
around.
so the college shut. Yesterday was the last day. We moved him out on Monday, but we've been moving him out for weeks, and that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Today.
I mean, absolutely, and that's why.
Is helping my son move back, and he's gonna be moving back out again. Cause he's only gonna be with us until he gets a job.
Yeah.
So,
it's all just, I don't want.
He's gonna have a job within a week or two.
Yeah, try to,
He's been getting final interviews at like multiple schools.
It's gotta be somebody at the right time for the person, all that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
so I don't know about July, but
Well, August would be the one I should be looking for next, really, because July I've got.
You got the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, so,
That sounds good.
So
let's just say, I'll do August.
great,
Okay.
if you want to put it in, double check and everything, right?
Well,
Obviously, if you find out something you forgot,
I think
let me know.
okay. Pretty sure August should be okay, but easy enough to check.
And let's, as your schedule allows, let's touch base sometime in the next, even week or so to talk about how that will work.
It's the third Saturday.
4th is what we've been doing.
Why does
It'll
it?
be the 22nd of August, I
Oh,
believe.
wow, there's 5 Saturdays in August.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why it looked weird to me. I was like, why does it seem like there's a whole other week?
it almost is, yeah.
Anyway, cool. Yeah, so I will present for the
Great.
August 22nd.
Great.
Okay. Yeah, that's no problem. And I'm doing a topic related to AI, and I'll give you a specific topic.
Excellent, yeah.
I'll give you a specific topic. Like, obviously AI is such a big topic. That
Yeah.
I could do a year
Right,
of
yeah,
talking about
yeah,
tech presentations
absolutely.
and barely scratch the surface of it.
Indeed.
So, and this is a half hour, so we gotta figure out like some sort of interactive session about AI with everybody that. I don't know, like, we can't furnish a model for everybody to use.
Right. Oh, and I will say the half an hour thing, that's like, the idea of the flow, right?
Mhm.
One of the things I learned by doing password management and avoiding online scams, those are both topics kind of like AI would be, or even a sub portion of AI might be, that were too big to fit into half an hour. Both of those, really, we ended up talking about the topic pretty much the entire hour and a half. And I don't
Yeah.
think that people were, you know, uh, complaining about that by any means, but it's not. I liked the way that January flowed better. It was more, what I've been hoping for, kind of a kickoff topic, natural evolution, and some time for support. And so that's part of what I'm trying to uh, learn from these, is figure out what kind of topic really does fit into, a reasonable time, allows some follow-on or natural evolution discussion. But it's not like a hard rule that like it's half an hour in, we're gonna stop now and talk about something else.
Yeah, that isn't a problem.
Yeah,
Um, I think, yeah, it's gonna be, we'll present, I'll try to put together a half hour of so of material. With the assumption it could go 45 minutes.
sounds great.
Whatever.
Yeah, perfect.
I don't know the pace at which I'll be able to get through the material or anything until I try it. If you're a professional presenter, you practice and practice
Yeah,
your presentations to get them down to like exactly what you're looking
Yeah.
for. I'm not gonna have a lot of time to practice, and you probably aren't getting a
Absolutely.
lot of time to
No,
practice.
no, it's very much off the cuff, which actually, honestly, I've done a lot of presenting in my time, and off the cuff is in many ways more of a strength for me than tight script. But of course there can be drawbacks to that approach.
Yeah, of course,
So
but it's okay, and I don't think people are expecting a super formal
yeah,
presentation. I think they want to talk to someone that knows the topic.
yeah,
And they want to learn something about the topic. And if usually like with a session like that, I'd be happy if people walk away knowing 1 or 2 things.
yeah, absolutely.
Like 2 things that that are valuable that you could take with you. And that's about it. Like you don't need to do much more. Okay, cool. All right, so moving off of talking about tech onto, are we still talking about CCI? I know I was just carrying this
Yeah.
from Nikki's note.
I don't think we need to have this as a regular agenda item, but I can certainly give an update at the moment, which is basically, there hasn't been a lot of involvement. Well, actually, since our last meeting, I'm not sure when, all the staff computers pretty much have now been updated, to Windows 11.
Mhm.
So a lot of, staff have got new computers on their desks, if they have desks with computers. And a few have just been upgraded because their computer could be. There's still a little bit of, shaking out to do there, but pretty much that's been accomplished. CCI did a very, very reasonable job with that. There always are little bits here and there.
Yeah.
Printers and printers and scanning to the desktop are particular ones that seem to often not work just totally smoothly afterwards. So I've done a little bit of troubleshooting some of that stuff, and some of it I've been like, I think we need to punt this back to them. But yeah,
Okay, and the CCI is handling the support for that.
for staff computers, I'm still doing all the public computing, that kind of thing, and things are going pretty well.
Cool. Any updates on the public computers?
So yes, I got two laptops that are last little bit, almost ready to go up to the tech room for, engraving barcodes, that kind of thing, that will get the public laptops up to the right number of new laptops. The other stuff has been largely still on pause due to other things going on at the library. One of which, actually, this is almost kind of new business, but it does fall under this heading. The catalog computers, so back in like 2017, not long after I started, I found a new solution for our dedicated catalog computers. Because we've been using they were stations of the general public computing platform we had at the time, just restricted to just see the catalog, and that was a per station subscription cost. So we were trying to cut down the number of stations we're paying for there. I found a Linux distribution that had been tailored for kiosk use, that at the time had a free option for things like nonprofits, and we've been using that since. It has fallen behind in terms of updates of software and things.
Strip?
It's called Porteous Kiosk.
Okay,
I don't know.
it's a kiosk.
Yeah, it's specific, and they no longer have a free option. And based on things I've read, I'm not sure that it'd be worth paying for their paid option. Like, it doesn't seem like necessarily they're keeping up as well with the browser updates and things like that as we would like. So I went looking, basically I'm in the process of exploring options to replace the catalog computers with some new solution, because they basically have now stopped working with the catalog, like, the filters to be able to say, I only want to look for audiobooks or whatever, that the web catalog has no longer work. The browser is so old. That's with that distribution. The good news is I think I've got an excellent candidate. I found there's someone who works at a library in British Columbia, who was using the exact same software we were, that Porteous Kiosk, and ran into the same problem, and basically whipped up his own kiosk solution using a stock Ubuntu Linux distribution. And that's looking like very good, distraction-free kind of browser that can be pointed at the catalog to start with, and people can go and it's up to date, everything's working with it. The only things that the last bits I have to do are easier startup, auto login, things like that, so staff don't have to try to get it started in the morning. And it doesn't currently have a good reset either. So I think that's going to be very easy. I just basically need to put an exit button in. It's basically such a stripped down thing. It's like a frameless browser, full screen, with custom buttons, using a Python interface to a toolkit that lets you, have a web view.
Customize it.
Yeah, exactly. Very simple to use. It's got, zoom in and out buttons to make stuff bigger and smaller, that kind of thing. So if I just get an exit button in there, it will automatically restart the little Python script that makes and shows this browser, which would, be basically a full log out and history wipe for anybody who was using the catalog as well. So just like I said, just a couple little bits to do there. And I think it's going to be excellent. I'm hoping to have that fielded in the children's room and downstairs by like the end of next week is my hope. I might need to actually go hide myself away somewhere for part of a day to be able to get over that finish line, but
Okay,
and it will be free, which is great. I can use some of the former public access laptops. A couple of those that we're not going to be circulating anymore because they can't go past Windows 10. So install Ubuntu on a couple of those. Free hardware because we already have it. Free
Sure, sure.
software. Yeah. So looking good.
Yeah, Linux is a good solution once
Yeah.
you can't use Windows anymore.
I've kept sort of looking for kiosk solutions pretty much at least once a year since I started, and it has been surprising to me how few great or even good options there are out there unless you want to pay a lot because you're doing something like a airport.
Yeah,
Um, but not only is this something we can use, it's also not a lot of code that I was able to understand quickly, and I've already modified a bit. And so I think it's something that I would be able to maintain even if the current maintainer doesn't, keep up with it. I mean, he's also working in a library, got a lot on his plate too, I'm sure. But and I was able to reach out to him by email and took him a few days to get back to me, which he apologized for, but he responded, and then took me a few days to get back, and I apologized and let him know a little bit of what I've been doing with it. So yeah,
future business.
it feels like when I got started on the internet and open source collaborative little projects like this, we're all over the place. So
Okay, cool. That sounds good. Yeah, thanks for that update, and sounds like a good solution that you've come up with. Cool. Other items of new business. I was thinking we would establish a process so that we can review and confirm topics without requiring a warned meeting to do it.
yeah,
Because it just seems like that's content. It isn't really town business. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it strikes me that we can move that out of this meeting and do content decisions just by talking on email. I don't think that that's violating town meeting requirements.
I mean, like I said
Because
before,
we're talking
yeah.
about library content, we're not
it's
talking
not
about
like-
policy or.
I mean, this
governance.
this committee isn't meant to be managing employees any more than the
Right.
select board is meant to be managing, town employees either. So I'm viewing it, like I said, like feedback and input, and
Yeah,
so. I
But
don't
we
think
do
it's-
make policy decisions.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I don't think that picking a topic for
Topics are
is
for
not
policy.
a policy decision.
That's content.
So, yeah,
So
exactly.
in fact, I think before Julie left, she had asked that question. She said, why is the board of trustees concerned about library, presentations and content? And I said,
Yeah.
we're not, but we did want to start this program, and that's kind of,
Yeah,
in other words, like sort of fostering the program was what we wanted to do. But running the program,
Yeah.
I think that that's not town business anymore.
exactly, right. I
So-
mean, it came out of this committee, which is meant to support efforts of the library around technology. Brainstorming ways to make my time go further with more patrons in different ways,
That was
right?
the idea.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So
people had actually asked for that.
yeah, it was very much hey, can this group of excellent minds figure out some other options? And then it was mostly reporting back and, like I said, getting input. So I agree. I don't think it's not like a policy decision-making thing at this point. It's
So, we could use for example, we could use the email list that you're establishing as a way to discuss upcoming topics even, and therefore including the attendees in sort of,
certainly one of the things I'm gonna put in, my
like, I
first
was
message to
gonna
it
make a
is-
couple of suggestions
Yeah.
on how we'd approach that. And we could, it could be done at any time. The good thing about this is that it doesn't require us to call a meeting.
Right,
Yeah. And so I wanted to suggest that we move the topic assignment portion of talking about tech out of this meeting. And just have a nice little side process we can use where we can legally talk to each other over email about it, for example. You know, as an officer, I'm supposed to curtail my interaction with staff to just the minimum required interaction. I'm not supposed to be like working with staff. I don't want staff to think they report to me. You know, I don't want to create any of that perception. But in this situation, I'm just a citizen of Brattleboro who's interested in talking about tech and making suggestions about what we might do for a topic. I take my trustee hat off for that. No,
Exactly, yeah.
I'll just make suggestions. And
Sounds
and
perfect.
my suggestion isn't worth anything more than anybody else's. I'm just a person saying.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate the volunteer effort and participation in the group. It's really what it is. It becomes participation in the group that talking about tech wants to be, so.
Have any other trustees attended those? I know Ann attended the first one when
Leo came to one.
Good, okay,
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah, I also want to make sure that the trustees show up for these. It would be ideal if. Like we show up for the Friends meeting one, like each of us shows up for a Friends meeting, rotating in and out.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if we had like trustee support at the talking about tech meetings.
Yeah.
So I might suggest it at the next trustees meeting.
Cool.
Just say, hey, if you guys can make it, you know, it's this time on this Saturday and it'd be great if you just came. You don't have to come on time. Just
Yeah.
show up,
Yeah.
you know, show up and say, you know, this is us. We support this.
Cool.
Well, cool. Okay. I'll say urge trustees to attend as well. Okay, so I don't know if I could like run this by Leo and see what he thinks, but obviously if we're gonna vote about this as a policy change, we have to do it with a quorum. So
What,
I
in terms of
could
whether
see,
this be is on the agenda?
yeah, I think I'm not sure what my,
I mean, you get to set the agenda.
right,
You're
so
the chair of the
maybe I'll
committee.
just say we'll take this off the
Yeah,
agenda.
yeah.
Okay,
Uh,
all right. I also want to make people feel like they have input into the
Yeah,
process.
I mean, there's always room for new business suggestions at the beginning of the meeting, right? You're
Yeah.
always a comment, you're always.
So somebody could
accommodating.
say, I want that back on the
Yeah,
agenda, I
right.
like it, say yes.
Okay, we'll
Okay,
talk about it
that
this
works,
month.
thank
Yeah.
you, good suggestion. As I said, I'm a neophyte at this. Okay, cool. So, and then the other thing I was concerned about was making sure that you had assistance on the day of.
Yeah,
It would be great if there could be someone to help you with logistics, and this way you could just say, hey, can you take care of this, and you could. focus on
yeah,
the-
well, and, you know, when you came to that, you were just.
That's what I did.
Yeah, you did.
I came and I helped you.
Yeah, it was fabulous.
And it probably has been much more of a hardship without someone there.
Yeah, it's been a little tricky and, you know, it's one of those, right, I'm not always the most comfortable at asking for volunteer help in particular, you know what I mean? Like, it often, I often feel a little awkward, you know, I don't want to impose on folks. So that's not my strongest point, but it would be great to have. So yeah, if there's a, you know,
So for the next one, when I'm presenting in
I mean, I can
August,
be that when you're presenting. for
right,
your portion
you
of
can
it.
do that for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can make it to the July one, I'm gonna try. And if I can make it, I'll be your second. But I was thinking, people like, has Gemma been coming?
Gemma didn't come to the May one, well,
But Gemma was the one person who came to the June one.
no, it was
She didn't come.
another patron of the June one.
Okay.
Gemma was not at the June one. I think many people probably forgot that it was happening because, like I said, I just didn't get
So much
enough,
distracting.
enough publicity out at all.
Okay. Okay. All right, so I'm just putting it out there that after the August meeting, we're still gonna have to solve this, so.
Yeah,
Because I would be comfortable if there was always somebody there to back you up. Otherwise you're juggling too many things. Okay, cool. And we could talk about it if we get more attendance at the next meeting, talk about how we
can
want
I
to
make
set
a
that up.
correction? I finally found the right thing.
What?
May was what is the cloud? I
Okay,
talked about what are cloud services, what companies provide them, when do we come across them, that kind of thing. And that was a pretty, that was the one where we had about 8 people and people seemed to be, engaged in it and appreciative of the topic. Had some good questions. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what they are at this point. It's been too long. So, yeah,
Okay. Good, thanks. Yeah, that's just an addition. And then the July one is gonna be what's Wi-Fi.
yeah. Which like is really just the very short slug for it,
Yeah, yeah.
It's really about like how do our devices connect? What is all this stuff we hear about? What's a modem? What's a router? Not that we're gonna necessarily cover all of that thing, all of that stuff, but those are the kind of ideas for the topic to put in people's minds to ask, you know, what they want to know about.
Okay. So what I'm putting in the minutes is that for a second for you, a trustee could do it, or we could. How's the turnout been? I know we've tried to get the high school participants interested.
I did not have any luck. I talked to Max, who's does the teen program. He did say he would mention it to his teen advisory board. I got the sense he certainly didn't. It didn't seem like he had
Yeah,
a strong feeling on how to pitch it to make it necessarily
maybe you need something. To
light up. Yeah, or yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, I'll admit I don't quite know how to pitch it in a way that's gonna necessarily inspire teens to want to come myself. Um,
It's got to be some nerds.
yeah, I mean, certainly, when I was in high school, I would have come to something like this, especially if
Yeah.
it meant I could show off and talk about something. Um, uh, maybe hard to believe now, I know, but uh, I was wondering about approaching some folks at the high school. But I didn't manage to close that loop this year either, or summertime now, so, but maybe it was as fall comes up, I could reach out to the high school and say, hey, is there anything that would make sense to connect with? Maybe at the Career Center,
Good choice.
yeah.
Career Center, yeah.
So, and my younger daughter will be a junior next year, so I do still have some connections in terms of I can ask who I should talk to if I don't know the right person already, so. Sorry.
So, okay, I'm just taking notes anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna put that on the to-do list. And
And speaking, I should also just say, as Tara comes back more full time, I'll consult with her too about does she have any connections at the library? Should we work it through her? Or should I reach out directly? Or does she have other connections, with folks who might be tech inclined or curious of different age groups and demographics and stuff like that. So.
look what AI just did for me.
Excellent.
Okay,
So maybe this is probably an after adjournment topic, but I've got a little AI story around the kiosk thing, so.
cool. And I'll make that, I'll assign that to me. Done.
All righty,
Okay, anything else that we want to cover today?
nothing I can think of. I think this has been good.
Okay. All right, so it's 5:17 PM. Let's adjourn the meeting.
Sounds great.